And how do everyone, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Show, featuring, as always, Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group at Keller Williams Realty. And Chris, this is, I refer to it as an old farmer from northern Idaho. I always say it's harvest time. I see so many people looking at homes, building homes, and of course, wherever I go, I see the Chris Lofthus sign, and people say, man, you're lucky to work with him. And I say, you ought to listen to him on the radio show. It's incredible. Chris, we welcome you to another Saturday.
Yeah, I love being on the show. We love doing it every week. Been doing it about 4 months now, and kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about, I've been sitting here talking to Van and Aaron from Concierge Legacy before we started the show, and just how much the market's changed over the last 4 months since we started the show.
And I guess I always tell people, if you'd listen to what Chris said, if you'd listen to what a number of his vendors, his partners, including Aaron, including Van, all down the list, that's what's been so great about the program, Cutting Edge. And there are those that said, hey, I listened to what Chris did. I did this, this, and this. So now I'm asking you to look into your crystal ball and say, okay, it's June. We're headed into July. What are you telling folks to do?
Well, as always, we love selling real estate, and the big thing we try to do is put a positive spin on it and keep it going. But if you look at inventory levels right now in Ada County, and what we're talking about, we've been talking about new construction over and over again. And when we started this show 4 months ago, it was 23 and 24% of the total inventory level. The market share was new construction. As of this morning, we're down to 9.9%. Of new construction. So what's ended up happening is people are turning into new construction. The guys are building them and they're getting gobbled up. And it's kind of, in my opinion, the builders can't keep up. Lending's still an issue with spec homes. So these guys can't build the speculation homes due to the fact that the banks got stuck with a lot of these houses. But overall, I think it's getting better, and the consumer confidence is getting better, and we're actually seeing true appreciation. If you look. The median sales price, 2011 year to date last year, new construction, there was 294 units at 184,000. This year it's up to 200,000, 8% increase from last year. Same thing if you look at the total inventory numbers of sold units. Last year the average sales price in Ada County was 137,000. We're up to 155. That's up 12%. Just in 1 year.
And, of course, the activity and what we see, Fred Meyer is now open. I saw another paved street where I live in Paramount. And when I say another paved street, it's not like they just pave them for down the road. The builders are ready to go to town and put stuff in. And the reason I bring up the Fred Meyer and then Big Al's is opening, those mean jobs, and the people that work there need places to live.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Fred Meyer is opening any day now, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they're open today, so if you want to come by,
I was just talking to my wife
get some good
so
gas.
But you look at all that's going on, and I really think we talk about appreciation in real estate, or we'll talk about both Concierge Legacy and these guys, what they have to offer, and overall, and I think there's a couple effects here. People are saying, Chris, there's no way we have that much appreciation. Well, the true fact is that now we're getting rid of those bank-owned properties, and we're getting rid of the short sales, and they were giving them away. So what we had is we had a false, people talk about a false ceiling. We also had a false bottom. So now when you see it shoring up and you see that someone, I say, we're up 12%. Well, the true effect of that, is it really 12%? In my opinion, professional opinion, it's great. But the fact of the matter is it's not true, because we just don't have those banks, the Chases, the Citibanks of the world, giving properties away. So, for example, in your neighborhood in Paramount, you're sitting there thinking your house is worth $350,000, and next thing you know, bank dumps one at $290,000 next door. Well, that takes 3 to 6 months for recovery for you to get that thing is no longer a comp. So I think that there is some appreciation out there. My prediction's always been over the next 12 to 18 months, we're going to see 8 to 12% a little spike, and then gradual 4% return. But the fact of the matter is there is appreciation. It's just I think. I was talking to somebody last week about this, and the fact is I don't want people sitting there thinking that I'm saying, hey, look, we're going to get 12% annual return year after year. It's just not going to happen. The jobs truly aren't there to support that type of increase.
You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Show featuring Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group at Keller Williams Realty. And as Chris pointed out, man, we're already into week 17. So much has gone on in that time. If you want to look at the website, it's Chris Lofthus, and that's Lofthus, Chris with a C, chrislofthus.com. You can reach out to us via email. Contact us at clgeagle.com, or you can call 350-6228, 350-6228. Chris, looking at an email, you've talked a lot about nationally. The national numbers are completely different what they are here. But the question is, how do you compare Ada and Canyon? If you say, hey, things are going good in Canyon or things are going good in Ada, does that mean they're both counties are doing well? Or how do you look at those two, how they are different and how they're alike?
Well, and we were just chatting about this before the show as well. We talk about this. I always say, hey, look, quit listening to AP articles, quit look at the national news. And what I mean by that is, don't take it, take it at face value for what it's really worth. You can't compare, like we always talk, you can't compare Florida to Boise. You can't even compare what's going on in Las Vegas or Phoenix to Boise. And the fact of the matter is, the fundamentals of recovery have been in place for a while. It's just the lack of consumer confidence, which I see is coming back in such a huge way. And Aaron and Van will talk, the guys from Concierge are here. We'll discuss this too in their world and what they do. But that consumer confidence is really starting to kind of show up, and we're seeing a lot of positive momentum. People are making some moves. We'll discuss in the fourth segment. I read a really interesting article this morning about international money and their interest in the real estate market in the United States. And so it was kind of interesting. I'd like to discuss that a little bit. But overall, we're pretty optimistic about what's going on around here.
Well, and Chris, in the past they've said, well, everybody at the Lofthus Group is enthusiastic, which we like to be around those kind of people. But all of the folks that have come on the show, Saturday, Tim Bungard was on the program, the CEO of Pioneer Title. And if you look at his indicator, the PTC.com, and you look at the pieces on that, I mean, it's not like anybody's coming on saying, hey, I'm not doing remodeling. I'm not working on trees. I'm not working on titles. I'm not selling homes. We're going to talk to a couple of great investment folks coming up next. They're all busy.
Yeah, everyone is busy, and to kind of go backwards in your question, because I never did answer your question regarding Ada and Canyon County and all the stuff that we're going to talk about here. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at the national numbers that we discussed earlier, okay, we look at it and say, okay, you can't compare, you got to really compare what's going on. And you asked me the question about Canyon County. Canyon County is slowly recovering, not nearly as fast as Ada County. So when you try to compare the two of those together, it's almost impossible. So you kind of just got to split up in segments.
What would you say? Let's go from the home buyer. Maybe two or three of, I don't know, Chris, if I necessarily want to call them mistakes, but what do you encourage them to do? So I've just moved into the Valley. What are two or three things you would encourage me to do? Somebody's listening today and they say, hey, I'm going to purchase a new home.
Right.
What would you say would be your top two or three things that they should do?
Well, the top two, I mean, the first thing we try to do with everybody when they come in is really get to the bottom of what they need. So you get to the fact of the matter is, and I think this is part of, in our industry, what part of the frustration is a lot of realtors just throw people in a car and they start driving around aimlessly looking at stuff and then, showing them 20, 30 houses. It's not what we do at the Chris Lofthus Group. We sit them down. We find out exactly what their needs are, what's their goals, and what are their time frames. And you start looking at and it's amazing how fast you get to the, very few houses on the market that there are. So, for example, if we took you and Claudia and really got down to the facts of what you want, you want a single level, you want this, you want to live in the Eagle, whatever it is. And then when you start taking all the pieces out, the listings that don't work for you, and I show you a piece of paper with 4 houses on it, and that's what we're seeing with people is they're going, there's only 4 houses we can look at today. And it's like, if this is what you really want and you're telling me the truth, what works for your family, that's all there is. And so that's where I'm seeing a lot of people making rash decisions, and then, they're getting into a house or making a decision. The market's not moving that fast where we have to go, hey, buy a house today. It's not what we're about. The fact of the matter is, there's a happy median to getting your family moved, getting in, and my wife said this morning, school's just around the corner. Even though we're in June, people are talking. I'm talking to people from out of state, and they're panicking because they can't find what they need. I talked to a gal this morning from Southern California, and she said, "You got to find us a house. We got to close escrow by August 15th," and that's just we're hearing it over and over again.
Chris, you've put together a piece, and we'll talk about it as we wrap this up. But as we get ready to go to our second segment with Van Carlson and Aaron Seehawer of Concierge Legacy, your secret list. And I think that's such a good piece because I've had a couple of folks ask me, well, does Chris really have that? Because we're thinking about it. And they said exactly what you did, but they didn't want their kids to know because they were panicked up. And then the other one was, well, we're not around to keep the house clean. This seems like a perfect element for us. So share with our listeners in your best 60-second commercial time the secret list and what you're building with the Chris Lofthus Group.
The secret list, we came up with it about a month ago, and basically what it is I kept getting phone calls from people, buyers and sellers. Sellers, typically, that's what the secret list is. It's a list of houses that we know about that people want to sell. Typically, these people don't want to put their houses on the market. They typically there's many reasons why. They're showing with the kids. You got to keep the house clean. There's a lot of different reasons, but they're serious sellers. And when we have buyers come in and they can't find what they need, we have this list of houses that only our group knows about that these people are interested in selling, where they can contact us and they can say, hey, look, this is what we're looking for, and we kind of marry people up that way.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we'll talk more about that list and how you can get on, or if you want to take a secret peek at it, we'll do that. When we come back, our friends from Concierge Legacy, which is all about creating, protecting, and preserving wealth for future generations. Aaron and Van will join us. If you want, during the break here, take a look at their website. It's conciergelegacy.com. We'll look at some of the listings as well later on in the program. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Show featuring Chris Lofthus of the Chris Lofthus Group at Keller Williams Realty. We will be back right after this.